When it comes to quality of translation services, what do you think is the most important thing a language service provider should bear in mind or should do?
Well, first of all, we have to differentiate between translation service. Of course, translation and the activity of translating a text is part of the translation service, but it's not the whole story. So there's two aspects. Of course, again, when we talk about the translation itself, it's still an intellectual service. It still takes competence of an individual. So of course, the competence and the qualification of the individual doing the translation is still the key factor when it comes to the end result. Goes without saying. So aside all the technological changes we have seen, and I've seen a lot of changes technology-wise in the past, again 15 years. Of course, I remember 15 years ago we even had discussions like, well, is it enough to have still paper? Well, at that time it might have even have been possible or acceptable to have only paper and translate from a blank on a blank piece of paper. Nowadays, of course, no one would even think about doing that. So yes, technology-wise, many things have changed, and you also even may have things like Google Translate or translation machines, but still language is too far complex to rely only on software. So yes, it takes the individual, and this is key. Nevertheless, aside from that, we have the service factors, and service is always about the service provider and the client. And so there's a lot of things which you have to do and which go on between the service provider and the client to get the thing and to get the job done properly. So actually, getting the translation right is the one aspect. The other thing is this client TSP relationship, as we may call it. So there's lots of things to clarify before the translation job, in between maybe, and afterwards as well, in terms of quality control and quality assurance and learning to make it maybe even better next time. So this is the second most important aspect for me, is proper communication with the client, clarifying things, clarifying the intentions of the job, things like that. So these are the two aspects, I might say so, about the quality of the whole thing. Of course, and this is where the standards and standardization come in, the process, in particular, the requirements to have the the translation being checked by another translator once again. So this, what the ISO standard calls revision, is in terms of process an important step, and has turned out to be an important factor, I guess, in order to ensure the quality of the end result again. But as I said, the most important things are those which I already mentioned: people and the relationship, the proper relationship to your clients.